Welcome to Up to Speed on Cardinal Television at St. John Fisher College.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Up to Speed, a show that brings you up to speed on some of the big stories within the sports world this week. I'm your host James Deasy, and let's get right into the show. Starting with football, Washington College receiver John Ross is set to have labrum surgery after the NFL Combine. Several media outlets have slated Ross as a first-round pick in this year's draft. According to ESPN's Todd McShay, Ross is the third best receiver in this year's draft class. Will this surgery set back Ross in hopes of being drafted within that first round? We shall see. As mentioned last week, offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan for the Atlanta Falcons is now in San Francisco as their head coach. Atlanta has already found the replacement. The Falcons have chosen Steve Sarkisian to take the reins of that highly explosive offense that we just saw in the Super Bowl. Sarkisian, most recently the offensive coordinator at Alabama, has dealt with alcoholism in the past. Sarkisian said, "This happens to be an issue of mine that I work on daily. That is important to me so I can be the best person, father, and coach I can be." We shall see how the Falcons' offense is ran next year. Exciting news for Cardinals fans as both quarterback Carson Palmer and receiver Larry Fitzgerald have announced they will return for the 2017 season. Palmer, age 37, and Fitzgerald, age 33. If both of these players can actually stay healthy for a whole season, look out for them to take charge early out of the gates. Now on to the NBA. Another huge story coming out of New York this week as Charles Oakley was handcuffed on Wednesday night after an altercation that happened during the game. Oakley, a former player for the New York Knicks, has been banned from Madison Square Garden by the owner James Dolan. With all the buzz that has been happening with this team, including Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony, Spike Lee, a longtime supporter for the Knicks, had this to say. Simply, who's going to come here? A very fair question, as New York is known to be a heavy landing spot for several free agents in the way back in the day. Former Syracuse 7-footer and Boston Celtics first-round pick Fab Melo was found dead in his home in Brazil this past Saturday morning. There was no immediate word on cause of the death. Melo, age 26, was playing professionally in Brazil the past few years. Kevin Durant made his return to Oklahoma City for the first time since he signed with Golden State in the offseason, and he heard the boos. The whole city of OKC deemed Durant as an enemy, as their star Russell Westbrook still seems mad at Durant's decision. But Durant and the Warriors were able to snag the win with a score of 130-114 as Durant scored a team-high 34 points. Durant was asked about what happened after the game, and he stated, "It was a fun game. I actually thought the boos would be a little bit louder." The Warriors had the nod this time. We'll see what happens next time. Now on to baseball. The Cincinnati Reds and second baseman Brandon Phillips have parted ways. This trade was long rumored, so it was ultimately a matter of time before it actually occurred. Phillips is headed to the Atlanta Braves as the Reds receive left-handed pitcher Andrew McKirhan and right-hander Carlos Portuando. Phillips had a full no-trade clause as a result of being in the league for over 10 years and 5 with the same team. A quick note, since 2006, only Robinson Cano has more hits than Phillips with 2,055, as Phillips has tallied up 1,774. We shall see how Phillips responds to the transition of a new home. Former Los Angeles left-handed pitcher C.J. Wilson, who hasn't pitched since July 2015 because of injuries to his left elbow and shoulder, said he is turning his full attention to auto racing. Wilson supposedly has been racing for 10 years, and he hasn't ruled out his return to baseball, but not for the foreseeable future. Wilson owns C.J. Wilson Racing that competes in racing series in North America. This has been another episode of Up to Speed. Make sure to tune in Thursday for more stories within the sports world that you might have missed. I'm your host, James Deasy. Catch you next time.